Well, hello, hello. Happy Thursday, everybody. Hope everybody's having a good one, although I suspect everybody's having a funky one because we're still in that crazy energy, right? No better way to say it, no other way to say it. Crazy ass energy. Hey, Vic. Hey, Carol. Hey, Brigitte. I'm so glad you guys are in. My crew, my trio. It's awesome. Yeah, so it's a little different when we start earlier, but we've got a lot of stuff to talk about tonight, don't we? Man, buddy, is there just always we're getting hit with something new every single day. I told you guys it was going to be like this. It's a roller coaster ride for sure. Hey, Kelsey, it is a roller coaster ride, and I'm really having to pace myself. It's wearing me out because I keep catching myself um, right on the borderline of crossing into fear and anger, and I have to keep pulling myself back out and reminding myself that I can't do it the way they do it, right? We have to come at everything from a different angle. There's being aware and then there's being afraid, and I refuse to be afraid. So I hope we can all stay on a level of awareness instead of fear. I think those are two different things. So if we talk about anything tonight, and I'm sure it's going to come up, that makes anybody uncomfortable, my apologies. But the truth is, where we're headed is not going to be necessarily comfortable. Things are changing really, really quickly, as you guys can see. Every day it's something else. And that's going to continue happening for about the next 7 to 8 months, unfortunately. I wish I had better news, but I don't. That's what's coming in. So we are just going to stand united, stand with our chins way up, do the best we can do, represent, keep it real, and lock it down. Right? That's the way we're going down with this. Yeah, Carol, I'm with you, baby girl. I don't know what to say. I wish I had. I don't know. I mean, I want to be hopeful and inspirational because that's where my energy resides, and I am doing my damnedest to stay right there in it. I will say, since you guys that are all in right now already know about the INCR. I've been speaking with my daughter quite a bit. She's in North Carolina. She is now hosting refugees that want to come in her home. And I think it's a really cool thing if everybody who's in one of the states, a refugee state, can do that. I sadly am not. I wish I was. I wish I was. Don't know how long I'll be in Texas. Don't know if I can get down with agreeing with the, the things that are shifting. I will be honest with you. But yeah, okay. On a lighter note, guys, I want to hear all about how everybody's doing. I would love for you guys to come in and talk. I know most of you in here right now, with the exception of sweet baby Kelsey, are in the class, and we're going to be meeting Sunday. And I know I'm killing y'all with the anticipation of what happened with the remote viewing, but that's what I do. I like to just annoy the crap out of you guys sometimes. So I'm going to, in the spirit of that, annoy you some more. Excuse me. I'm going to share, of course, the Get In Live link if you guys would like to get in at any time. Victor, you're allowed to get into, God knows. Everybody still thinks you're super cute. But yeah, and so I'm going to, yeah, so sorry for what, Kelsey? There's no, listen, this is where we are, baby. It is what it is. I think, I'm sorry that we are all having to go through this. I'm sorry also that we have all sat back and let so many other women go through it around the world. It feels karmic to me on a lot of levels, but it can still shift. It can change. It's never too late. That's the good thing. Where there's hope and there's love, there's always a way. But I'm going to pull a couple of cards for the collective, for all of us in here, and kind of see where we are. The first thing that comes in for me with this is how we approach things in a mature, loving way, that we have to kind of step out of that bullying playground mentality, right? It's real easy to get sucked into that because right now everybody's looking for a reason to start a war, looking for a reason to fight, looking for something to get angry and fight about. So we have to hold this loving maturity to where we can just kind of sit back and look at it and giggle it off. I think a lot of my grandmother, when she had like 12 of us at her house all the time, and she would just kind of sit in a chair and smile at us. Now, her eyes were not smiling, but her mouth sure was. Do you know what I mean? It was that maturity that kind of held her in that space. But it's the only way that we can promote and go after the things on a personal level, on a public level, that we want to change, that we want to see shift. I know a lot of you guys are seeing this literally every day. It's happening around you really quickly. in your workplaces. This is more outside of the home than it is in the home, this energy right now. It's public, right? It's out, it's at work, it's in interactions, it's in our governments, it's in all those things that we're seeing. But if we can maintain that maturity, we'll be just fine. And the other thing we have to do is we have to remember that we're dealing with people that have the mental and emotional capacity of a, I don't even know there's not anything, I was going to say of a child, but the children have more mental and emotional capacity than most of the things that are going on right now. So I can't even use that term. I don't know. We just have to remember that they're kind of screwed up, right? They're kind of lost. It doesn't exempt them from anything, but it absolutely means that we have to approach it from a different angle. Here's a good way to see it. If I ran into somebody who was super drunk on the street and he was trying to start some crap, I probably would not get belligerent with him. I wouldn't meet him in that energetic. I would find a more loving way to approach it. So maybe that's what I'm trying to say. But does anybody want a reading? Can I help anybody out with anything today? Or do you guys want to talk about any specific topics? Because boy, I've got a whole bunch to cover if you guys want to get into them. We've got all kind of astrology stuff that's going to be kicking up. That's going to come in July 31st and August 1st in that 24-hour period. Hey, Carol, I see you, sweetie. I'll jump in real quick. That's going to be the starting point. It's not when everything happens, but we start to see things unravel even more at that point. So you guys just, put on your big girl panties and get ready for the ride. And we're going to welcome Miss Carol in because I want to hear all about work.
How'd you know? Look at my crazy hair.
Girl, you look good. You look good. So what in the heck is going on?
Oh, well, so yesterday was a huge shift at work. And the person who kind of appointed herself to be my supervisor, I caught her in a lie. And she's kind of like she's usurping my authority. But in the meantime, I don't really care. I have a new employee. She's fabulous. We're doing great together.
Good.
I'm just very curious if you might have any insight, because I felt incredibly, like last night I walked out without confronting her, and they had a meeting today, which I would generally have been involved in, and I wasn't invited. So I personally don't care if they don't want to call me a manager anymore, as long as they don't touch my salary. And
right.
Quite honestly, I'm making a lot of money for the organization. So
right. Well, and then so they won't. Do you know what I mean? The simple fact is they won't. Listen, I think it's matching energy, like I was just talking about. You've got a system that is looking for people that are soulless and have no limits as to how far they will go. Do you know what I mean? To earn a buck and to protect the system. And she is one of those people. So let her float like a butterfly right on through that. They're not going to touch your money. I don't see that happening. But I will tell you this. I think the time is coming over the next 6 months when you're going to start looking at all of this in a very different way and going, is this really where I need to be? Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Is this the right place for me? Because there's a real undertone of I'm not doing everything here I could actually be doing. Do you know what I mean? Even outside of these people, even outside of that. But I think what's going on with her is just matching energy. She's matching the energy that company's putting out, that hospital's putting out, that group. And so it flows, right? Like attracts like. If you're not in that flow, good.
Good. I'm really staying outside of it.
Yeah. You have to. I don't think there's an option right now. I think with healthcare, and I know I talked about this a month or so ago. You and I even talked about it, I think, privately on the phone. But the system is about to shift in such a huge way, anyway, where healthcare is concerned, that I think a lot of people are going to find themselves on their ass, baffled and confused, and trying to figure out what just happened.
You're 100% right.
There's about to be some really, really, really big shifts. Vic and I were talking a lot over the last 24 hours about, what does this really look like? What are we really doing? Because we're seeing the system break down rapidly right now. It's not little things. These are huge things, And it's a progression that keeps moving forward. So where you're concerned, I think it's just kind of, watch it. But when it's time to go, pack it up. Don't think twice about it. Just get up and get out. because I don't see that changing. I think this thing, we already have moved medically into these massive conglomerates um, that will merge on a somewhat federal level, not a state level, but on a
Oh
federal
yes.
level.
Oh yes.
And now we're seeing the division line drawn within the states even more, right? The governors are digging their heels in, which is separating the nation even on a grander scale, politically, sociologically. And it just, this goes awry. I mean, this goes awry. So I really do think it's paying attention to the subtleties. When you feel that first intuition to get out, get out. I think everybody's going to have a choice to make whether they want to get their hands dirty or not. And I know everybody's, the argument is this, but I have to live, I have to pay bills. And believe me, I get that. I have to do it too. But there are alternative ways to live. Do you know what I mean? Peacefully, in harmony with your own soul, with your own life. And I think that's kind of where we're headed. But yeah, with this crazy girl, she would sell her mother. Do you know what I mean? To get where she wants to go. So how do you compete with that? You can't.
No.
There's no competing with that. But I will ask you, since I've got you on now, because I know that the underlying theme, I got about 15 emails today about I'm having crazy dreams. Everybody's having them right now. Like everybody's getting bombarded. Mm-hmm. You still getting it?
So I think that it seems so real to me, and they seem more prophetic.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm a little nervous because I keep having a recurring thought, which is going, and you said something when I very first reading that you did for me before I knew you before. And I don't know. You said, what would you like? Whatever. And I said, oh, love. And I knew I didn't really want to hear about that because, well, it's not even, and I was laughing later because it was really for my friend that was the purpose that night. Mm-hmm. But I keep having feelings of some major shifts in my family. And it's coming through in the dreams. And I know that it's like a real possibility.
Pay attention to them, because I will say this right now. Everybody's having very prophetic dreams right now. We've all been awoken to something in us to be able to measure time, if that makes sense. So when these things come in, we can measure it against, right. Do you know what I mean? Pay attention when you're in the dreams, when you're having them. What does it look like outside? What kind of clothes do you have on? Do you know what I mean? What time of the year is it?
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Look for details in this, because there is a time frame here that's kind of been, I think, negated, kind of pushed on all of us to pay attention to. Because I know Brigitte, she was talking about her dream with Vic last night. Everybody's having them. I've been blacked out the last 2 nights, which is not completely unusual, but I'm missing a lot of time. So I get it. There's a lot going on right now. Just pay attention to them. They're going to keep on coming. They're not going anywhere for a while. Whatever this shift is going to be, it's okay. There are a lot of people checking out, and there will be people to take their place in whatever capacity that they're coming in, right? There's just always this thing of maintaining a certain balance of energetic. So just pay attention to what it is and let them come in and try to be neutral in them. We're going to talk, Sunday, we're going to talk a lot about how to kind of, for you guys to balance things out and kind of release and stay neutral.
Since I started really just like allowing myself to feel these things, people are requesting transfers to my office. And I was like, so yesterday, Miss Sassy Pants said to me, everyone keeps putting in requisitions to come to your office. What's there? Me.
Just a good juju. That's what's there.
And right? she said, well, I'm here too. I said, yeah, okay.
Yeah, you can be blunt with her and say, yeah, that nobody likes you. Really, it's okay to be ugly sometimes. But it does. Remember, I told you guys that before you went in. I said, get ready, because I'm telling you, the minute you go in and you tap into that frequency, everything starts changing. And it does. It affects everything around you, everybody around you, the work atmosphere. The people that have to fall off so that you can grow will fall off, and the people that need to come in will come in. And it's that beautiful neutrality of not taking it personally, but recognizing the season in it. Do you know what I mean? That seasonal movement in that growth pattern that makes it a little bit easier. But I'm happy for you. People are seeing it on you. You know, you got that glow, you got that thing going on. That's a miracle. That's amazing.
Well, thank you, because I'm very grateful that you are all in my world.
We feel the same way, kiddo, especially now, right? Like with everything going is crazy.
Really?
I mean, I remember Vic and I said that in the beginning when the first collective started. After 2 weeks, we were all saying to each other how grateful we were for each other. We were like, I can't imagine what life was like before you. Do you know what I mean? It's
Yeah,
shifted.
I do.
That love, that sisterhood has shifted really everything. And we feel the same way, baby. I'm super grateful for you too. Let me shout out at Rachel real quick because this
Good.
goober is stuck in Walmart. So she'll have to rewatch. Awesome. Awesome, Rach. Good timing. Thank you.
It's getting
All right,
chicken
girl,
food.
thank you for popping in. I'm proud of you, baby.
Thank you.
Keep it up. All right. I love you, Carol. You're the best. I swear you girls are awesome. Nothing but good vibes, Brigitte. Nothing but good vibes. And Kelsey, of course, lovely, just in time for me to go back to work. You know what the good thing is, though, Kelsey? You are unaffected by all this stuff. I'm telling you, you're like one of those lightning rods they put in the ground to like detract the storms from hitting the house. So you have nothing to worry about. You'll be just fine. I'm absolutely, absolutely positive about it. Brigitte, she would not know what that is. It's true, but you know, listen, these people. Hey, Pamela. These people that are resonating on that energetic don't know any better. They don't care any better, and you don't really exist except for as being something that's in their way. You know what I mean? It's like having to go around something in the middle of the road, a cone or something. That's all it is. And we have to be the same way with them. They just have to, we go around the way here so we don't have to deal with them. Miss Pamela, how are you doing, darling? I hope your nails turned out really good. Let me know if you want a reading or if I can help you out with anything. And Brigitte, it was interesting too because Victor and I were talking about your dream last night. There was so much representation in that dream. It was fascinating to me the way that you two linked up because my daughter and I did that. Like Vic had said yesterday, she was out on kind of a private retreat for herself, just kind of going through some self-healing. So we didn't talk over the weekend. And then we were talking Monday and I was like, yeah, I had this crazy dream and it was this and that. And she was like, oh my God, me too. Right. So there's a lot of dreams that are syncing up right now, a lot of timelines that are syncing up, a lot of energy that's syncing up. It is interesting to watch it all. And I think it's, again, I said this with the first collective. We're waiting on you girls to catch up so you can come in with them. But there comes a point when you get so telepathic with people, right? Like we see that with our spouses or our children or whatever, but we get to a point when we become so telepathic, even within the collective, that we start picking up each other's dreams and feelings. I know you girls have been going through that this week, picking up on each other quite a bit. And isn't it amazing that just hearing the other person's voice, just connecting to their frequency with heart energy, shifted all that? It's like the best telephone service in the world, right? And it's so much cheaper than AT&T and T-Mobile, let me tell you. Everything's looking good. Victor is out and about today. He's running around. We were taking down TPs today and trying to get things kind of in order because without sounding paranoid, I'm not going to lie, I get a little nervous about what's going on here. Even though we're on the west side of Texas, there was a particular article, I'm sure some of you guys saw it yesterday in the INCR website that threw me back. I mean, I'm a little shocked every day, but it really threw me back that the House of Representatives had to go in and immediately put an emergency mandate in to federally cover not only gay marriage, but interracial marriage. What year are we in? I had to really sit back and go, what? Is that a thing now? Is that something they're going to start banning when we start thinking about all the families that this would tear apart? But then it hit me that I remember talking about this a couple of weeks ago when I said this energetic is coming in to uproot families. It's coming in to really tear at the fabric of who we are to see how far it can push us. So I'm just pushing back. I got nothing but piss and vinegar running through my veins right now. A lot of love too, but a little piss and vinegar. Miss Pamela, so she had fun getting the paint off your nails. Aw, Awesome. Well, tell me what I can give you a read on, sweetie. Give me just ask a question if you guys have any specific questions, because y'all know how I am. I'm all about specifics. I'll be praying for Rachel's butt in Walmart because God knows everybody that has to go in Walmart right now needs prayer. I'm not going shopping or doing anything. Nothing, nothing, nothing. I stay right here in my little safe space, right? But yeah, Pamela, if you can let me know specifically, then I can kind of jump on that. Absolutely. But yeah, so I'll jump back to that article because it was crazy. So I was checking out the astrology too, because this thing that comes up July 31st and August 1st is another alignment, but it's one that hasn't happened since 1855, shockingly. And if you guys go back and do your history, you'll see that 1855 was the precursor for the beginning of the American Civil War. This is when things really started falling apart. There was a lot of crazy stuff going on. And it mimics where we are now. It's just about different things. Do you know what I mean? It's not pro-slavery and anti-slavery. It's still pro-rights and anti-rights, absolutely. But it's just being targeted at anybody and everybody right now. It's totally nuts. Hey, Chastity, stuck at work? It's all right, baby girl. We'll hold space and hold energy for you. I guess I'll just go ahead and pull some cards, Pam, because I'm not seeing anything come up unless it's coming up late. But I will just go ahead and pull some stuff for you so we can keep it rolling. Keep this train rolling and see where she goes. Oh, Pamela. Good old Pamela. Everything for Pamela right now is all about how she feels about her relationships with other people. Sometimes Miss Pamela can be a little too naive um, in regards to other people. And I'm not going to say it's that you don't pick up on their emotions or their energy well. I think it's that you almost block the reality of what that is sometimes, and then you're shocked, right? Like if somebody behaves badly, there's always this thing of this undertone of, I wonder what's going on in the back room, right? In the back scenes behind my back. I think so much of that has to do with kind of the way you grew up and some of the women that represented strongly in your life experience up until this time. But it's a whole lot of reckoning with that. And now I see your question, so I can jump onto that. You are still trying to find a house. Good Lord. Do I see any roadblocks that you need to be concerned about? Girl, this house hunting has been a nightmare. The only thing, I think you guys are going to do okay with this. The only thing that I will say is going to be maybe a minor roadblock, but it can be worked around, is that you're going to have to micromanage the schedule on the appraisals and the inspections, because those things are a little behind and people are really kind of lazy with them right now. It shouldn't ever take more than a week to get somebody out to do either one. But because contingencies can be about time, really time sensitive right now, make sure you're micromanaging all of that. But I think otherwise everything's going to be just fine with it. In fact, it all looks really good for me, but I do want you to pay attention to that. It just looks like it's going to be kind of butt dragging, because especially with the appraisal company, I don't know why that comes up, but it feels for me like this is an older gentleman who either runs it or who will be coming out, and he is a butt dragger. So make sure you're micromanaging on that and getting everybody hustled in. Just watch out for time contingencies. That's the only major thing. One other little thing that I would keep an eye on when he comes in is to double check kind of the foundation. I don't know why I see a little bit of this going on. It looks like it's like the corner of the garage for me, and maybe where the laundry room, like kitchen water lines meet. But there looks like there may be a little bit of a runoff or water issue there. Nothing major, something that can absolutely be dealt with pretty easily. But maybe keep an eye out for that. If you guys get to go walk the property again, double check and see if you see any cracks in the foundation or any slumping. Even better, take a marble or a ball and just roll it on the ground. See what you got. Kara, gotta love it. I'm telling you, girl. You know how when your dog drags their ass across the floor? That's what I see a lot of people doing that right now. It's just like that pulling, dragging thing. I don't know if everybody's got itchy butt or if they're just real slow, but I'll be honest with you, it doesn't sit well with me. It drives me crazy, especially when it comes to business and contingencies and all of these things. Pamela, I know a lot about that because my mother was an attorney, but she also owned a real estate development company and an appraisal company. So you have to stay right on top of them when it comes to that. And especially in this market, because they got hammered with so much work in the last year and a half that now they're like, meh, right? Everybody's kind of sitting on their laurels. I don't know why. Why does it have to be laurels? Why can't it be something else? Let me jump up. Oh, Chastity, that's cool. I will jump in and get on yours in 1 second. Let me see what Miss Kelsey's gotten up. Can do a reading with my health test results. I'm hoping to hear something tomorrow, but it could be next week. I can do that, absolutely. I know you had said yesterday with Vic that you thought the gallbladder was going out. I'm curious if you were able to get the ultrasound or not, because I think that's going to be kind of the biggest factor in this. But although I will say that I think a lot of your stuff still is symptomatic of stress, I think it's a lot of that. However, if it is gallbladder stuff, of course, that will have to come out, but that is not a major thing to deal with. I had my appendix, after they burst on me, taken out in November. And yeah, it's not that big of a deal. I think you're going to be absolutely fine. You may be down a little bit longer because this should be laparoscopic. If I'm correct in this, it should be. You may be down a little bit longer than usual because of fluid buildup. They may have to drain a little bit, or it looks like water retention to me, a little extra inflammation, but nothing major. This is nothing big to worry about. It's just called get it done and knock it out, and then let's deal on the things that have been causing you stress. Although I do think that moving into the new job is going to take some of that off. I don't think it's going to take it all off, because I think you naturally carry stress, even though you have a lot of outlets. A lot of physical outlets, a lot of hobbies, and a lot of things that keep you busy. I think there's just something in there that resonates with holding that to a certain degree. I think until you're really ready to let go of that, you'll still have like the fatigue. There'll still be some of that, what feels like chronic issues, but they will kind of slip away. So I'm not too worried about that. I'm actually excited for you to get the results back. You're unable to eat because it's causing a lot of pain. And you had the ultrasound at 7:30 this morning. Okay. That can be two things. That can be gallbladder, absolutely. That is symptomatic with that. It could also be an obstruction in your intestines or something on the line of Crohn's disease. So it'd be interesting to see what comes back with it. But whatever this is, I think Carol's right. I'm looking at what she's saying. Any food or particular foods. If you can't eat any foods, this is more than gallbladder. If you are having a hard time with particular foods, this will be gallbladder and gut. Right. So I'm going to say, talk with Carol about this in the chat too. But it feels for me like it is right there. Absolutely. I think they'll take your gallbladder anyway to be safe. But I wouldn't be shocked if you don't have a minor obstruction. Now, don't get freaked out. A minor obstruction or something that looks like Crohn's hanging out in there. Could just be an infection. All right, so if you can eat bland chicken, mashed potatoes, and green beans, I'm going with gallbladder. But I'll let Carol, who is the expert, kind of back that one up, and she can tell you more. But you're going to be fine, baby girl. You're going to be absolutely fine. Miss Pamela, well, thank you, darling. We appreciate you coming in all the time, being so precious and bringing good energy on. You need to check out, yeah. You know what? That would be great. Whenever you're ready to do that, just shoot me a message on the network. Anytime you guys want a personal reading, just shoot me a message on the network. I think you guys would be surprised how shockingly cheap I am. I think I'm one of the cheapest in the industry because I just don't believe in raping people for money. I believe in paying my bills at the bare minimum, but I don't believe in raping people for money. So anytime you would like to do that, sweetie, it would be my pleasure. And you can't, okay, Kelsey says she can't have fruit anymore. See, I'm thinking, I don't know, girl. It almost feels a little Cronish to me. I'm going to be honest with you. I've seen it a lot, but it could be gallbladder. Hard to say. It's right there in very similar spots. So Miss Chastity found a house that was seized back taxes, and you're looking to try to buy it. Ooh, that would be an interesting take. Girl, if you can get that, I'm assuming this is probably a courthouse auction or county or city auction. I'm not sure how you're going about this. If you could get into something like that, that would be a game changer. Will you get it? I swear to God, this feels like auction for me. I don't know why it feels like multiple people competing for this. The answer is yes, this could be a real potential for you to pull out. I think you're going to have some competition. I think there's going to be some competition, and I think there's going to be obviously work that needs to be done on the place. I don't think you're scared of that, but that would be the main thing for me, would be kind of the competition. So I would say be prepared to have extra money to go over what the back taxes are, absolutely, if you can pull it off. But it does feel very auction-esque. Okay, it's on the courthouse stairs. Yes, it is. Girl, if you can go in with twice the money, take twice the money. Listen to me well. I used to buy and flip a couple of houses. It will be competitive, especially in this market. But yeah, there is a strong, strong possibility that you could absolutely pull that off. So why don't we hold energy for that? Let's meditate on that. Put on your higher frequency that I sent you and really hold the vision of that house and you receiving the paperwork. Bring it in. Let's just bring it in. Carol, I appreciate you jumping in with Kelsey on this. Kelsey saying gallbladder is often affected from inflammatory guts. True. That's what I'm saying. I'm having a hard time kind of distinguishing which one it is exactly, because they all kind of play off of each other. But whatever this is, Kelsey, you're going to be fine. It's still not anything major. Oh, thank you. And yes, please, ladies, help a sister out. Girl, we got you all day long. Can help you out. That's super exciting. I'm super excited for you. I got one like that on the courthouse steps. It was a house next door to mine in Atlanta. I had a great old historical home in Atlanta. And on both sides, one side was a rental house full of crackheads. It was awesome. Truly loved it. On the other side, it was a white trash family, and the girl thought she was a TikTok model, but let me just be clear, she was not. So in the minute that they lost the house to back taxes, we swept it real quick. And I think we got it for like $6,000 back then. But we had to be prepared to go way, way over. So that is still my advice to you. Be prepared, whether you have cash or it has to go on a credit card or whatever, but know exactly how far you can go, because it will get super, super, super competitive. Let me jump in and make sure that I haven't missed anything, because y'all know, still blind. Nothing has changed. Nothing has changed at all. Goodness gracious. I guess I haven't missed anything. That is awesome. So I'm also going to jump over because I wanted to look at a couple of things for you guys. And I need to go jump over to the other page. But I'll jump back to the astrology stuff real quick. There's a good astrologer. I like her astrology reports. She does Vedic astrology. I have a hard time looking at her and listening to her because she's super like Southern pageant girl. She's precious, don't get me wrong. It just, something about it reminds me of like cotillions and all that, green and gold bullshit. Sorry, bad language. All that garbo in Atlanta when I was growing up, a lot of it reminds me of that. But I will put her link in just a minute. The report she's got out for July moving forward is really, really good. It's not all peaches and roses, however. It's very brutally honest. And so I'm going to put that in the link right now. If you guys decide you want to watch it later, you can click on this, open it in another tab, and save it for yourselves. But it was pretty dang interesting. And Victor, how about a reading for the network, please? Ooh, that ought to be quick. We're going down. We're going down in flames. We're not. But you know what's really funny? I noticed there were quite a few people that we had originally that were coming in and they dropped off like flies. But I realized why. Because sometimes some of the other lives from the other networks will pop up in my feed on the Ascension Network. And I was watching them and I was seeing some people in there, which is awesome, right? Like, I think you guys should be everywhere getting as much information as you can. But some of the other readers are so flipping negative and so mean. I was like, holy cow, right? Like, stay over there. I don't want to bring that energy into anything over here. So reading for the network, Vic, is all about staying on top of things and not losing track of what we've got going on with the network. Even though we've got the things going on with the INCR and all of this stuff that we're trying to figure out personally, it is about staying as grounded as we possibly can. I know I had this conversation with Rachel the other night, and I said, even in the midst of all this craziness, we have to stay as attuned and grounded and control as we can, so that we can be here for all of you guys. We have to maintain. We have to make sure that what we're doing is about everybody, right? No matter what we're doing. So at least here in this network and with all of our readers, that's the thing collectively that we have to work on. We have to keep ourselves super focused and keep it focused on the love, because it's real easy right now to kind of jump over batshit crazy bridge because it's just everywhere, right? It's everywhere. I'm just being honest with y'all. Like I told y'all before, I don't watch the news, but I'm keeping up with things because, like I said, I'm a little nervous in Texas right now. Not that I'm of age to go and have any of those things done, but I don't like to see my girls messed with so much. So I'm having to, I don't know, keep a healthy distance and keep an eye on things. Yep. I hear you, Miss Kelsey. Everybody gets worn down with it. You can only hang out in that kind of low vibing energy for so long before you either A, cross over into the dark side with these knuckleheads and go down that road, or you're like, I can't be in this anymore. And I'm always hoping that it's for the latter, that people go, okay, no. I see this for what it is. I can't do this. And just as I'm saying this to you, the phrase for me comes out, I can't stomach it anymore, which is super relevant for you, right? You're such a feeling person. You carry with heart energy really heavily, which means you're always going to have health issues from like the neck to the reproductive area. Most of the stuff that bothers you will always bother you in those areas. But bless your heart, you have to shut it out. We have to shut out some of the silly stuff. But again, we have to be aware. So Chastity, the back taxes are only 5 and you've got 8. So you're worried about other people too? Listen, I'm going to be honest, you have to be a little worried. 8 might be enough, Chastity, but I would see if there's any way to have any backup in any other way, just in case. I swear I've watched houses, people lose them at auction over $300 or $400. Do you know what I mean? They would be like, this is my budget. And that $300 or $400 would come up and they'd be like, no. So if you can pull off even a little bit more, I think you'll feel more comfortable or confident with it. But I'm excited for the opportunity to see what happens. So Kelsey, you were surrounded by a lot of negative people at your last job, or a lot of negativity in general. Well, of course you don't miss it. I mean, nobody misses that except for crazy people, right? Who like to create more negativity. But that's the thing about stepping out, right? Like, I'm proud of you for being so brave to step out and take that risk, not knowing if you were going to get another job. I mean, do you know what I mean? Look at what the last year's been like, but it's paying off now. Now you get to move into something that makes you happy, that makes you feel good, that's the right place for you to be. And that's what it's all about, is just aligning with those things. We don't have to have perfection, but we have to have a path that's a little more peaceful. So whatever we've got to do to claim that right now, claim that right now. I will just say on the grander scale of things, to all my girls and to all of my guys, we have to really hold each other up right now. I mean, hold each other up and embrace each other and prepare for what will be rocky coming ahead. But as long as we're holding it down, as long as we can continue to meet here and talk and praise each other and hold energy for each other, we're going to be just fine. So 15 months, Kelsey, that's a long time, girl. That's a leap of faith right there, right? I would have been stir crazy. I can understand why you were. A little bit, absolutely, for sure. Absolutely, for sure. It can get a little nutty sometimes. Lord have mercy. Crazy, crazy night. Well, girls, I'm not going to keep y'all all night. And I'll be honest with you why. As much as I love being in here with you guys, I don't have a lot to say tonight that's super uplifting. And so rather than say things that might take you down a rabbit hole, I'm just going to shut my pie hole. So I'm going to end it for me tonight, and end it on a good note. And just say, don't forget, we have the possibility to change our reality every second, every minute of every day. Don't get fearful. Don't get lost. You're not alone. We're all in this together. You are loved. I love you. Everybody at the Ascension Network loves you. And I wish you girls a beautiful night. Everybody get some rest. Go take care of yourselves, okay? Have a glass of wine. Chill. Enjoy your moments. And be loved. I'll see you guys.